Hello, everyone. We had the discipline of sociology, and we are excited to present all the information we have found out to each and every one of y'all. My name's Jake.
My name is Reagan.
My name's Milan.
All right, so our subject was sociology, and so the study of sociology is the study of all things social. So that includes social relationships, social institutions, problems, and even society itself. So this explores patterns in relation to these concepts. Sociology is a subdiscipline of social science, and many students at NC State and other colleges can either choose major or minor in this discipline. So in this discipline, we researched the research project done in early 2021, and it discusses the pitfalls of cyber vetting, which is gathering information online through social media sites to examine how employable a prospective employee is.
Okay, so the discipline of sociology at NC State, we can look at some of the things that are interesting about it. Firstly is the transparency. Via the learning outcomes and planning websites, it's clear to the students the information they can learn and will learn and the academic path they can take at NC State. NC State also has Alpha Kappa Delta and the Taylor Sociology Club, which is a way students can become involved with sociology outside of their classes. Another interesting thing is that classes offered and required for the discipline at NC State help learn about societal issues and current social topics. And overall, at the NC State, the discipline allows for opportunities for students to become involved in genuine social change and allow them to gain experience for their careers. So the sociology discipline is housed within the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, which as a whole is in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. The department offers undergraduate degrees in sociology, anthropology, and criminology, and graduate degrees in sociology and anthropology. Sociology focuses on the structures of groups, organizations, and societies, and how people interact without them. Anthropology focuses on the different aspects of what makes people human. The discipline takes into account the relationship of cultural and societal and biological bases of human behavior. While looking at the past and present, criminology is the study of crime and teaches students to take a more critical look at crime in the justice systems. Students specifically studying sociology discipline can take criminology and anthropology classes. You're able to get a Bachelor of Arts or Science in sociology. However, there are not multiple concentrations for it. You can, however, if you go to graduate school, you can get a PhD for sociology, which there are 5 specializations for. This includes crime and social control, food and environment, inequality, class, gender and race and racism, and anti-racism, and work and the global economy.
So moving on to classes, the sociology department consists of classes that allow students to flourish in their field of study. Each class typically revolves around social life, social change, and the social causes and consequences of human behavior. Many students will first start off with taking classes that involve the principles of sociology, also known as Sociology 202. And from there, you can expect to take a multitude of elective classes that the Department of Sociology has to offer. While taking these, you'll also be taking GEP or General Education Program classes within the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. And these classes will consist of a mix of English, literature, history, math, and other electives. In the Department of Sociology, there are a multitude of classes available for students to take, as well as a variety of electives that can pertain to different fields of sociology. One main class that stuck out to me was Sociology 413, which is also known as Criminal Justice Fieldwork. And this class offers the ability for students to engage in real world criminal justice agencies and allow them to observe the day-to-day experience that occurs within them. It also allows for the study of relationships between ongoing programs and relevant political and sociological theory and research. Another class that I also found interesting while researching is that Sociology 212, or Race in America, which is an introduction to race and racism in the United States. And it is the analysis of the key role that racism has played in US history and how racism has shaped opportunities and outcomes for people living in the United States. So after NC State, once a majority of students go on to complete their undergraduate degree in this discipline, a majority will go into fields of different professions, such as advertising, marketing, working in the community development agencies, or environmental groups. Another opportunity NC State offers is their graduate program. It consists of a 72 credit hour doctoral program that is very intellectual taught, as well as academically rigorous, but is very supportive. The core curriculum includes courses in sociological theory and research methods. Overall, with whatever track you choose to pursue, NC State allows you to graduate with the skills that you need to be successful in your field of study.
Yeah, so as stated before, we researched the research project in early 2020 that discussed the pitfalls of cyberbullying. And so one of the most interesting things that during the study was the amount of bias that came as a result of cyberbullying. So the study participants, which were HR officials, they reported looking for images on social media that consisted of things like families at Christmas or families hiking that really just appealed to them. But because most people that hike are typically white and most people that celebrate Christmas are Christian, this creates a bias against people who are not part of those populations. So hiring managers want to see somebody's authentic self through their social media, but a lot of the time, the things that people post are inauthentic and aren't the exact truth. Like they'll alter their bodies or the way their face looks, or just try to post something that isn't completely authentic. So the irony of this is that the hiring staff wants to see the authenticity, but they also emphasize the importance of carefully curating what people post online. This makes it seem less authentic if it was ever really authentic in the first place. And I just thought that was pretty interesting.
An interesting piece of information from the article that I found was that potential employees aren't even sure what employers are looking for because there's very little transparency and they really can't improve their chances. And of course, because employers are looking for very niche and specific things, this puts potential employees at a disadvantage and they don't even know it because, again, they aren't even sure what they are supposed to be doing. And even if they have the most perfectly curated social media page, they still might not even be what the employers are looking for.
And going off of that, I also found it concerning from the HR side of things behind the cyber vetting process, because like Milan and Reagan have stated, it can turn into a discriminatory issue, which is very concerning, especially when it comes to the hiring process in general. And the big issue I see is how the HR department views people through social media. Like the article states, they want someone to be authentic, but are also very strict to what they allow. So it limits people to show their true self, which in turn can connect to our discipline of sociology, because sociology deals with the study of personal interactions. And this research article is basically describing that through the hiring process known as cyber vetting, it is describing these interactions that are occurring between people.
Yeah, so for the takeaways, I wasn't entirely sure the difference between sociology and psychology. I thought they were, honestly, I didn't really know. But I found out that psychology is more oriented towards how an individual relates to a group, where sociology is more focused on just the group, meaning the systems and behaviors of that said society, like interpersonal relations, as Jake was saying. Psychology is also more about why people do things in their brain processes, but sociology cannot be that because a group as an entity doesn't have a brain. So we can't explain those processes through their brain. And even though they are very different areas of study, they're interrelated because psychology moves to sociology, just like individuals form groups in societies.
I've taken a class on sociology in the past, so I already knew what the subject and discipline was about, if that makes sense. But for me, the most interesting about it was I didn't really see the full scope. I more so viewed it as a humanities discipline rather than an actual social science. And I didn't really understand the amount of research that actually goes into the discipline and the amount of topics that it can cover, for example, food.
And the biggest takeaway for me was the amount of different classes that were available to students within the sociological field. It was truly astonishing that they have different classes that can be built around careers students want to pursue. It was also interesting to me to see how connected each class was to one another in some form of way, because they're all dealing with the same basic sociological principles and sense.
All right, and that is the end of our presentation. So thank you so much for listening.
It was a pleasure.
Yep.